For more great content, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Showstopper. I'm very happy to be returning this week after Tyler and Danny holding down the fort last week. Of course, Tyler is back with me today and he's very, very happy because every single time we have some NA talent and NA players on the show, you get a chance to gloat. And this time around, you actually deserve to gloat about this one.
Oh yeah. I mean, last week we kind of had a bit of a downer episode. We have 100 Thieves, Echoes coming in from the 100 Thieves compound. We've had some episodes in a row where it was just kind of doom and gloom. What's wrong with TSM? T1 cheating? 100 Thieves imploding. No, we have to do something a bit happier this week. We wanted to bring some people on who are actually winning in challengers, who actually qualify for challengers. So we not only brought in one person this weekend, so we brought in two. We brought in the brain trust of the hottest story right now in all of Valorant, I would have to say. I don't care if it's Europe, NA, Korea, Japan. The hottest story right now in Valorant is the Cinderella story of the guard, from the guard. We have mCe and valyn, the brain trust, the coach, and the IGL of maybe a team going to Iceland, Yinsu. Maybe a team that you're going to see very soon over in Europe. So, how you guys doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been in a really good spot lately, so it's refreshing.
Yeah, you gotta love the Tyler intro. He's always good with setting the scene. But we're gonna jump straight into roast my tier list this week. I'm gonna send you to my the tier list in Discord. I'm gonna start with, I guess I'll start with Tyler's tier list,
right,
being actually in NA.
I think my tier list is pretty okay. Let me explain my tier list before you two come at me. Let me explain. Just let me explain.
Yep. I'm gonna come at you before they're gonna come at you. But go on.
All right.
Yeah.
So international contender S+. I have to go with the two teams who've actually been to an international event and have performed at least somewhat admirably there. I mean, C9 made top 8 last time.
The one that won the event and performed good internationally doesn't deserve that title? Or?
I mean, maybe if they stop dropping every first map in a series. Like, I have to rank them based on how they're playing currently as well, too, right? Like, I love Sentinels. Like Sentinels is always going to be a team where if you put them against any team in the world, they have a fighting chance. Like, I don't think there's even today, if you throw them in against Ascend or a Gambit, I still think they can beat them, but they're not consistent right now. I mean, Optic looks red hot right now. Cloud9 haven't dropped a series. Sentinels have dropped every single map one, even versus the Knights. Even in matches where I feel like they should have 2-0'd, that kind of inconsistency just makes it so I can't rank them right now in the top 4. You guys, obviously, in version 1, undefeated. I have to give you guys respect for being undefeated and, showing consistency in these, pro games, in these regular season games. So I had to put you in S. I want to see a bit more, obviously, before I put you in S+, just because that needs to be, international pedigree. A, I think, again, these teams are both S+ candidates, just haven't had the greatest seasons. I think Sentinels, as you said, deserve that respect, but obviously I just can't rank them that high currently just because you drop every single first map, you gotta get dinked. Losing to Optic makes them, drop down the rankings a bit. Luminosity B with Energy. Energy's 0-3, but I really think they're good. I think their storyline doesn't really tell the whole story, in my opinion. You guys can disagree or agree on that. Luminosity, they're 2-1. They have a negative round differential. They've been grinding out games. I think they have a young squad. I think B-Dog and Mata, once they find consistency, in the server, and it seems like every other game, it seems like a new player is stepping up. I think LG has a lot of potential, but right now I have to put them in B. And then C is just like the
riffraffs.
The riffraff, yeah. Rise beat Optic and then just kind of died. EG's just been kind of being slapped around all 3 series. Knights only win on Ascent, and the 100 Thieves, they might make another change if they lose next week. Who knows? So yeah, that's my list.
What do you guys think?
I think it's a pretty good list. I would say it's hard to put 100 Thieves at C, especially with the new team. I think with some more time, unfortunately, they don't really have time. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it. Unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna make it. I think they're gonna lose to Exet. But I do have a lot of faith in this new 100 Thieves lineup. But obviously, for their current performances, I'd agree. And then maybe I would bump up Rise to B just because they do show a little bit of promise. Like they lost to Rise, so I mean they lost to Knights, so it's like a little iffy, but they also beat Optic, so they're kind of in a weird spot. Like I wouldn't put them on the same tier as EG.
Okay,
honestly,
I think that's fair. I think Rise has just kind of disappointed me. Like they had a very rough qualifier, they barely made it through, almost lost to Built by Gamers, and then they beat Optic. There's a lot of like, oh wow, they did really well, and then it's kind of flatlined after that. So
arguably, I mean, was it LG or Rise that beat Sonics again? It was LG, right?
LG beat Sonics.
Okay, never mind them.
Yeah, Rise beat BBG again, barely. They almost threw
my list for once isn't that far off from yours, Tyler, but I think I made slightly more maybe conservative choices. So here's my list, right?
Ooh,
you only
to Iceland.
Okay, you only have 2 slots. I know you guys only have 2 slots, so this is a bit baity from me to put more than 2 teams up there. But I do think that if any of these 2 teams in my top tier made it to Iceland, I would not be surprised. Like right now I feel like could be any of these 4. It also could be Sentinels, but I think I will be slightly more surprised that it would take them having to beat one of these 4 2 times, right? Because of the way that your playoffs work. They would have to beat 2 of these opponents to go. So that for me, at the moment, I don't know if I see that happening. But the 4 there, I feel like are the 4 that have the best chance going. I'm actually really biased. I want Exit to make it. I want Exit to go because my boy Def can come home. But Exit for me, I kind of just put them A because I feel like they also have the best chance out of the rest. 100 Thieves, honestly. No. The Echoes, I don't know.
This love of British players.
I don't know
incredibly
if
evident from Yinsu.
I don't know if you 2 ever interacted with Echoes, maybe like in ranked, in scrims or whatever. But he's so nice. Like he's a gen. Even after everything that's happened, his reaction has been nothing but just pure respect for the org that did him like this. He was very nice. Back in CSGO, when we sent a UK player to NA, this is like kind of before Def and Smuya, I believe. It didn't work out, and because it didn't work out, it kind of literally like killed our scene completely.
Are you talking about Surreal?
There was a few. There was like a handful of them that did kind of, they crossed the border, and then because things didn't work out, our scene kind of just became a bit of a laughing stock. I don't think it's going to happen this time around, but just purely on principle, like
just wait till Boaster comes to 100 Thieves, baby. We'll give him some hoodies.
He would never.
Why would he do that? Say that.
He wants to win. He wants to win.
There's a couple zeros in their bank account. You say that. Everybody has a price.
I mean, I'm sure he would go to Cloud9. That's not out of the question. He did really want to go to TSM, by the way, like back in the days, like really wanted to go to TSM, but they don't award him. But anyway, this is my list. What do you guys think? I think it's slightly different to Tyler's.
I think to preface all of this, every single one of the teams like in this tournament is capable of beating each other like on a particular day. And just because like teams are getting stomped or like things like that doesn't mean that these are like bad teams. I know typically I talk shit about everybody, but like before I go in on teams, like I'm gonna preface this
they all deserve their spot here. They all deserve their spot.
I think EG's biggest issue is that they just haven't had time. They're a brand new roster, and
they looked so good in the qualifiers. They looked
I think they hit a hot streak. To do that, and I think they have really good players, but it's like they need all 5 of those players to play well to like continue to compete. And I think once they've got in this, teams are able to study them and focus more on them, and little areas are able to be exploited more versus like the qualifier, you're playing multiple matches a day up in like for a certain part where because it was EG, they might have got overlooked. But like in this tournament, like nobody has overlooked EG. Like everybody has studied EG when they play them, and they're able to like exploit some of those tendencies and things like that. But I think like Yinsu's, I hate rating us that high just because like we're still in a prove it like area.
I honestly think it would. I think something pretty like drastic would have to happen for you, in my opinion, not to make it like deep in playoffs at this stage.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you would have to really fall off for that.
I think
not
a
to
lot
happen.
of it is going to be the draws
Yeah.
of teams who makes it, because I've always said NA is like a rock paper scissors at the top, that it's like this team can beat this team, but they get destroyed by another team. I love this.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Like
he's gone. Yeah.
Well, it's like motion censored, so I have to start waving my hands for it to come back on. But yeah, like it really depends on who you draw. In practice so far, we've really done well. We match up pretty well against everybody that we've played, but practice is practice, and we're demons in practice a lot of the time. So it's, it is showed in our performances, but I think everything is going to come down to bracket seeding and who gets who, where the upsets are, and who, like, because there's a chance you have Cloud9 and like Optic, or us and Optic, in the first round of lower bracket, realistically. Like that can be a thing that happens. So
you could draw Sentinels, right? Like Sentinels are kind of, you know, screwing around a bit. You know, they get a third
They shithouse to an international tournament though.
Yeah,
they just will somehow.
Yeah, Sentinels.
That's just the Sentinels way. That's just the Sentinels way.
They'll just turn it on. Yeah.
They just win magic rounds like every single series. I mean, they have 5 rounds. Of the best.
They're good for one eco every game. They're good for one massive eco
they
round.
Should, like Sick just uses it like Frenzy and like 1v4s in like an impossible situation. Those guys are so talented.
We had a taste of that on the EMEA side as well. When they 3-0'd Fnatic, it was a lot of just like, Tense is just
he has
with a Marshall.
He's a sheriff.
Yeah, whoops.
Ten just walks out bathroom with no cover of the sheriff. He gets 2 kills. Cool, they win.
I have like PTSD from that bind map. But okay, let's make a list for you guys. I guess we'll go from top down. So which teams do you feel like will be in the international contenders category? You have to agree on this, you two.
I think for sure Cloud9.
Yep.
And I'd also throw Optic up there. Yep. Yeah. I think those would be my 2 teams in the S+. Mm-hmm. Just because I think, Matt, do you want to keep it to 2 teams? I think 2 teams is good.
I think 2 is fine, and then literally everybody else is going in S.
Put
I mean,
put 100 Thieves C, man. Just put them C. Yeah.
No, you gotta make the D tier for them to repay. Actually, don't even rank them to repay the favor.
Oh yeah, they didn't even rank us in their video.
Oh, that's true.
What?
Is
that what they did?
They didn't even realize the guard were a thing. They were mean.
Yeah. No. And they ranked LG as D tier because they lost to us.
Yeah, like, LG lost to the guard D tier.
And then they proceeded to lose to all their D tier teams.
Okay, so S, you have Cloud9 in the guard. Cloud9 and Optic.
Yes.
S, everyone else, and then C.
I mean, I think V1, Sentinels, and Exet are there.
Yeah.
I think we're up there. Do we rank ourselves?
Yeah. You rank yourselves.
I think we're S. If you're gonna put Exet and whoever up there, I think we're up there too.
We're in C.
C. Oh my God. We have to agree on this, man.
They just got lucky, 3 straight wins. Lucky, right?
You're gonna agree with Sentinels, V1, and Exet for S? Is that what you agree on? Okay.
I think so.
Where are you gonna put yourselves?
I guess we have to put us in S because Valyn's a coward.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, we're doing Exet V1
Sentinels.
And who? Sentinels. Okay, Exet V1 Sentinels.
And the guard.
Honestly, everyone else that comes on this show, when they have to rank themselves, they always put themselves S plus. Like
except Brave.
I believe in having realistic expectations, unlike most of these teams in NA, and putting reachable goals. And sometimes they have to wake up and realize what's happening. Where it's like, I think we are a team that can challenge for Iceland, but it's like, if we just don't put the steps in place to get there, there's like, I could be the shittiest team in the world and be like, yeah, we're going to Iceland. It's like, okay.
What does that really mean? Yeah.
True.
I would say, Matt, I think if you're going to put V1 and Exet and S, I think we put ourselves in there too.
No, I think that's fine. I mean, I think those are the next logical teams that are like on that level. That, like I said, I think the top 8 teams, everybody that makes playoffs, I think is capable of making it. But if you're gonna rank people, I think it's Cloud9 and Optic are like I would say they're favorites, and then the rest of us are like probables, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, do we put Xset in A and S is V1 guard and Sentinels?
No, because if you look at Xset's losses, it's to one of the S pluses and then to ourselves. So
you did kind of spank them though in the end. Like it was like close, and then it was a little bit.
We kind of threw Bind too.
We threw Bind.
We threw Bind so hard.
I feel bad for Josie because Josie has to watch me on the cam and he listens to everything I say, and it's embarrassing sometimes.
Oh no. Okay, well, any teams you want to put A, B, or C?
I mean, I think Energy has to go in A as well.
Yeah, I want to put NRG in A, even though they're 0-3. Like
they're good. They're really good.
They're so good. They're so good. Like, I don't know what's.
If you look at the level of improvement and how well they played, I think V1 played a really good week as well, and Energy was also just like on point. I worry because Energy, like, do they lose confidence because they're 0-3 now? And that's like what I'm scared of.
Do they still have a chance?
Yeah, they have They have the Knights and Rise. They have the Knights and Rise, which is
and the good thing is it's in their hands, so they can take. I have a lot of respect for Josh RT. And I think those guys are so good.
They have
so much talent.
Penny just kind of went off on a kind of a bender in their Icebox.
He went.
Yeah, he just went.
And Energy borderline through Icebox too. Yeah, that should have been a win for Energy.
Yeah. And then Penny just kind of like, I'm just gonna take this over. And
Xander 1v5s, like Penny's on point. But yeah, I think Energy goes in A. I'm gonna put LG in that tier as well.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put Rise. Okay. And I know that's weird, but like Rise is such a momentum team that if any point ever they're just like, oh yeah, we're good at this game. Like I feel like they just can compete and beat with like anybody.
That's true. I think you saw that in the Optic match. Like once they're stringing some rounds together, like they look like a completely different team sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, and Derek and Superman are outrageously good. Yeah. I think the thing that's interesting is how good are all of these teams going to be without Astra? Because like Superman is a like super impactful Astra. Like all these guys have such impactful Astras for the most part that like it's going to be a shit show come last week. And
do you guys know when the Astra is coming in coming out even for you? That's happening for you guys in week 5?
Yes.
I don't think EMEA is doing that until after playoffs. I think we might be saving that. We might be. I have no idea. I
gotta talk to.
I could be lying, but we're definitely not having it because our week 5 is next week. That's not coming in next week. Yeah.
Same.
Okay. I don't think ours is coming in next week. I don't think so.
The thing is, week 5 will determine a lot of who is making playoffs and who is not.
Yeah.
And so you have teams that have spent, what has this patch been? Like, there hasn't been a real change in like
way
6
before
months.
Champions.
6 months.
It was Chamber added. Yeah, since Chamber was added, it's been the
and
same
like
thing.
Even then, Chamber isn't a must pick on maps. Like you could avoid playing a Chamber and play anything else and be okay. So like it dates it back even farther than that.
It's
and,
the
like,
Viper buff. The last time it changed anything.
That was the big real like meta change was the Viper buff.
But and then I mean it like I think 100 Thieves is the new 100 Thieves. I think they look good, like what Valyn was saying.
Bang's awesome. It makes a lot more sense. I mean, I love Eccles, but like the actual team composition.
You don't need a but. You love Eccles, full stop.
I do. I love Eccles.
That's it. You don't need to say anything else after that.
But Bang is so good. Like if they can like find some chemistry, like if they can find the right pieces around Bang and Asuna, like they're gonna
Are you
be
saying
really
to completely rebuild around Bang and Asuna?
No. I mean, no.
Are you sure? Are you sure? That's what it sounded like.
Whoa. Hiko's Killjoy, baby. I'm on the. Just watch. He's gonna win. Just moving on. No comment.
Yeah. Okay. We can move on. Okay, so you've got EG left and Knights.
I think they're both B.
Okay.
I don't think anybody that made this tournament deserves to be put in a C class, because like these guys beat everybody else. If you look at who they beat, what they've done, Knights is on a god tier win rate, or they were on a win streak on Ascent. Like these guys show so much promise and like what they're doing. If Frosty can step up and help more and more as like an individual player, I think they can be pretty good.
Shout out Knights for the Ascent comp 13-0.
Yep, shout out Knights for the Ascent comp.
I believe Knights are like 26-1 in like their last like
more.
Yeah, no, they were.
It's like 30, probably 30 something and one now, if not more.
I think.
Wait, did you rank Luminosity? I don't know if you did.
I put them in
Luminosity was in there.
Oh, okay.
I think one cool thing before we move on is like just bringing up Frosty is all like including valyn in this, all the kind of the up and coming young IGLs. At the end of 2021, there was a lot of doom and gloom being like, oh, NA's like, oh my god, we need IGLs. Let's import from Europe, import, and now I think we're seeing like obviously valyn, you're doing some good things. I mean, I don't want to pump you up too hard so mCe doesn't slap me, but like you guys are doing well. Xander, I mean, I think everyone I've ever talked to just heaps praise on that kid about how just kind of mature he is for his age and just how good he is under pressure. And then Frosty with Knights, like there are a lot of actually really good like under 20 IGLs right now in the net. So
yeah, well, let's talk about the IGLs and let's talk about you guys a little bit more as we move on, because I firmly believe what Tyler said had some truth in it. There was a lot of talks about whether there were enough kind of people that wanted to step up to fill these kind of leadership roles, putting more work in. But we are seeing that change quite fast, right, in your region. So what do you guys make of this? Do you feel like there is still a disparity, especially compared to EMEA, because we have like, I'd say the big hitters. We've got like, your Angel, your Gobby, who's also both in VCT right now. Boast is coming through, and Bone Cold as well, now winning champions. Do you guys feel like there's still any kind of a gap, or do you feel like it's just different what you guys do in NA?
I definitely think there's like IGL. Wait, was the question about like IGLs, like the gap?
Or yeah. IGLs in just specifically, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the biggest gap between NA and like EU IGLs is that there's a lot of different comps in EU, and they're not really like slaving to one meta, and they're like you see Ascend, right? Like they're insane, like bind comp. Like I feel like most teams in NA could copy that comp, but not be able to execute the same way they do. And that's like the biggest difference, right? Like they don't need a Sova to play the game. They don't need like certain agents to play the game, which I feel like a lot of IGLs in NA might need. I can't say that confidently because like, people just haven't tried it, but I would say EU just has a lot more creativity in that kind of sense, because they're not just like picking one meta and doing what everyone else does. They kind of switch up the comps and play their own game. I would say the closest one to that is like Vanity on Cloud9, because they're really good at flexing like any agent, and they can play any comp and still know how to play good Valorant. Like, I mean, they could play whatever they wanted and still understand the fundamentals of the game to play well. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Are there any like EMEA IGLs or teams that you want to kind of go up against? You want to face?
Well, not really IGLs, but teams. Like if we were to go to Iceland, I'd love to play against Liquid, because I'm actually a big fan of Scream, and I think like I just want to see how we would match up against that team, and if I could one tap them a little bit, that'd be kind of nice.
Wait, why did you shake your head? What was that about? No, it was Matt.
Oh, it was Matt.
Yeah.
No comment.
Wait, okay. I honestly would say that like people say like don't meet your heroes, and those people have not met Scream. Like honestly, like I Scream is everything that you think he is and more. That's all I'm gonna throw in there. So I think that's quite reasonable. What about you, Matt? Is there anyone that any teams you wanna play against?
FPX.
Oh,
I think solely because of the Angel comments early on in the game, how NA teams weren't going to get.
Wait, that was 2 years ago.
He remembers, Yinsu. Americans don't forget. NA remembers.
Yeah, not actually. I think just any of them, I think, would be a good experience for us in terms of how they play. going back to like the bind comp on like Ascend, like obviously they're onto something, but like NA, how they think about it is, I think opping potentially is more prevalent in NA, and like the chamber and jet ops, especially. And it's like every NA team has looked at that comp and been like, we should try to play that. And then like we're like, oh god, but yeah, what about like jet ops or chamber ops, or like that's where the Sova comes in so much in NA, I think. That like it's more of a must pick on the map. Like I want to run a Sins comp and just, see. But like at the same time, we have a lot of not that Europe doesn't, but like we have a lot of people that just try to take over games as like jet ops or ops in general, and without the extra util, it's very hard to, take those. Oh my god, take those things off the like table. And like NA also for forever has had extremely talented people on Sova, so our comp, like a lot of people like to play Sova. But in terms of teams that I want to play, like, I mean, Gambit, obviously, because you want to see how good your team is versus, some of these teams. And Gambit and Ascend are the two that it's like, if we can even match up at all, like we're in a good spot, and like that's reassuring or whatnot.
I guess you guys don't really have teams in NA that is like Gambit, right? Because Gambit is so, I don't know, I feel like they're still so just like Gambit. I don't know how to describe it, but no one else plays like them.
It's you have teams that mimic what they do on things. You like they throw certain walls and things like that, but like Gambit's teamwork is phenomenal. And I think one of the best teamwork teams in NA to compare is like V1.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think V1 has by far some of the best setups next to Zero Marksman Black in terms of their like defense stuff. I'm not even kidding.
He's not even trolling. That team is different.
They are so good. They are so good. They need to be like A tier as well.
Do you just lose to them a lot? Is that what it is? Or they just smack you?
It's not even. They beat KSM like a few weeks ago. Yeah,
it's not even that. It is. These guys are the most coordinated team in NA with V1. I am not exaggerating. Like they just have stuff figured out, and it's so good. But yeah, V1 in terms of their trap setups and teamwork and stuff is definitely like up there. But like I think Gambit's just on a whole nother level, and Gambit's like individual decision making in players is outrageous. Like they just don't mess up.
And like speaking on that, it's like their protocols are just so set in stone. Like they just play so slow every round, and they know exactly how they want to like.
They never get punished. They never get punished.
They don't get punished for anything, and like rarely ever. And I don't know, their protocols are just really figured out. They understand what they want to do like every round, and that's why you see teams trying to like replicate what Gambit does, and they kind of fail because they just don't have like the same level of understanding.
They the timing, so they hit the perfect timing to turn your head away. So now
every single time,
you. Like
every single time. Every time. It must be nice to see people through walls. Like,
I will say that totally off topic, but Chronicle thinks they're good because they all have girlfriends. It's a 5 girlfriend team.
Oh,
see, that's like the opposite. Maybe that's why NA's losing because we have the opposite mindset.
They have, every single one of them has a girlfriend. They got the full team girlfriend buff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it must be nice, right?
We're almost there. Just a couple more players.
Yeah, you'll get there. But yeah, let's talk about you guys real quick, and I'll pass this over to Tyler because I heard you guys go on stream lately. I think it was on Vanity stream, Matt, that you went on, where you kind of spoke about how like Trent was brought into the team.
That was what I was gonna ask. Because like every
we gotta talk about this idiot again.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about just Trent. I kind of want to talk about the whole story. I kind of want to know, like, because you guys you had your own kind of different backstories of where you were in your own kind of particular part of your career, and obviously you guys all joined on this project. There must have been a reason why that you kind of wanted to join this project in the first place.
Valyn?
Oh, is that for me? Oh,
no, both of you. Yeah,
okay,
like why?
I thought Matt was gonna answer. Okay.
I'll answer after.
So for me, the reason why I wanted to join the Guard, I was on Complexity previously, and we were going through like some hard times, and like I wasn't getting the tournament results that I was expecting, and I felt like this new opportunity here at the Guard was like kind of a fresh, like fresh air, and I felt like it's a like restart for me, because I'm playing with people who I value really highly, and I think are very good at the game. And I think like with me leading them, we could do something great. So I was excited to like start up a team. We didn't even have a full 5 yet. So that was also a reason why, because it felt like I was building my own team in a sense at the start. And then so I joined with Net and Som at the time. And then mCe came in and we started trialing like fourths and fifths. And it just felt like super promising. And unfortunately at the beginning, like we weren't getting results again. And it felt a little shitty because like we lost that LAN versus like a team we shouldn't have lost to. And like we were losing like a lot in tournaments, but
little did we know,
like all we had to do was pick up this Trent kid and we're just become the best team in NA.
Well, I meant that we lost to Zero Marksman Black.
Oh yeah, that too. You didn't have to put that in there, but honestly, like speaking real quick, like they're actually a good team. But anyways, I just felt like this project was a new opportunity for me to play with players that I value very highly and like coaches that I value highly, and luckily it paid out. So yeah,
he has to say that.
Yeah, there's actually a gun pointed to my head.
Yeah. I think for me, I had a couple different interesting offers in the off season. I'd been working with Gingy, obviously, and then that did not work out and ended badly. And was working with a college team and really reset my mental on a lot of different things of how I should approach the game. And it helped me more than a lot of other things in my career, honestly, to do so. And like got the opportunity to come and talk to the staff and everything. And we had very similar goals on this team in terms of like, this is our expectation, this is what we want to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And like at the time, 4 of the potential players on the guard were people that I had scouted individually at a point in my career. So it's like, you know, we had Net, Valyn, we were trialing Cryo and Jonah P. And so it was like, all 4 of those players I was a very big fan of in terms of like everything. So I was like, yeah, this is a good team to start on. And after I started talking to the guys, I guess I was already signed at that point. I had a lot of faith in their approach and their like how they wanted to play the game and what they wanted to accomplish. Like they were all new players and they have that yearning still that they're like, I want to prove myself, I want to do this. And like I had that as well after, you know, everything that happened. So like getting brought into a team where everybody has that mindset is it's really, really nice in terms of everything. And then from there we had to do trials and settled on like Saya player at the time and Jonah B. And then later on we made the Saw move because, you know, just wasn't working out. And then we trialed so many Sova players. Oh my god. Like I watched Valyn and I even watched different Sova's recordings from tryouts with other teams, from their individual recordings of matches. Like we probably watched, I would say I did at least 6 different Sova players POV recordings to even see if like we wanted to trial them.
That was in like one day.
Yeah, and we were on a very tight timeline. Yeah. And so we played with a whole bunch of people and like ended up, you know, the whole thing started because Habib dropped like 35 on us in a scrim on Viper.
Trent.
And yeah, Trent, sorry. I refer to his time before as Habib and then his time with us as Trent to illustrate whatever. But yeah, he from that point forward I memed, I was like, we should try this kid out. And then like he played a tournament with a friend of mine and did very well. And that's when we were like, wait, he's a Sova main. Like he used to be a Sova main. And he put up outrageous stats. And so that kind of helped me push it on the team that I was like, this is a kid we should try out. And from the first day, I was like, I mean, Valyn can attest to this. We were playing terribly. We were the worst team in NA.
Yeah,
before
actually.
It was bad. And like Trent came in and all of us were playing terribly, but Trent was playing phenomenally. And just the way he thinks about the game and everything, you could tell that like he's going to be a special player, like from the very beginning. And I apologized to my GM because I told her that I wasn't going to find a Canadian and I wasn't going to find a minor because we had a limited timeline to get them to Dallas. And our last 2 options were indeed a Canadian and a minor. And I told her, and I was like, Brenda, I swear, like, I know, I wouldn't tell you, but I'm telling you, this kid, like, I passed on 2 other young kids to try to go after, and I regret both. And I was like, if I do a third one, like I'm gonna regret this like the rest of my career. And so I convinced Brenda, and she was like, all right, let's do it. And obviously the rest is history, because he used to play on a toaster with 100 FPS in California on awful ping, and we were like, this kid's phenomenal on this. What happens if we give him a real computer? And obviously he has, come to the facility with us, and he has been just flexing on everything possible.
Is it just been consistent? Like, is it like, obviously we see in like every match day he's showing up, but is it in scrims?
Yes.
Is it just like just consistent?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a hot streak. This is not just
this has been special. From the beginning. I think he has had he had one bad scrim in the very beginning out of all the ones he played, and he had one day where his bad scrims were still very good. And then, but all of us, why our team is so good is we have 5 people that can carry a match at any point in time, and it's really nice to have in a team.
How is he personality-wise? How is he fitting with the team? Obviously, when you have a 17-year-old come in and he gets heaps of praise, he's getting all these Twitter followers. He has, me and Yinsu, gassing up on Twitter and social media. Everyone is kind of praising him. How is he kind of accepting, this newfound fame and a 17-year-old, out for the first time? Is he
honestly? After that Ascent play, he could literally be the biggest asshole in the world, and I would still not care. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I think we do a good job of keeping him in a good mental spot on things, and I'm very good with that of just trying to keep people in check in terms of egos or whatever. He has definitely got really comfortable with Valyn, and they let you. He's your typical 17-year-old that he's gonna poke at you and poke at you and poke at you and poke at you, and Valyn every now and then after practice is like, Matt, I don't know if I can. He's really starting to piss me off.
That's cute.
And our manager one day was complaining because he told Trent to do something, and Trent was like, why? And then he explained it, and Trent was like, yeah, but why? And our manager is Korean as well, and so he came from the Overwatch scene, and it's different. You tell someone to do something, you do it. And so for Trent to do that, I'm like, Sayo, you have to remember, he just turned 17. Of course he's going to be a shithead. But for the most part, he has great parents that, raised a really good kid. So we haven't had to deal with any of those things yet. And I think Trent appreciates the chance that he got. And he really likes the team, and so I think the fame and things like that aren't going to his head yet. And he's just there to work and to get better because he genuinely wants to be one of the best players in the world at this point.
I want to see him go to a LAN, just start giving it on the stage.
Yeah, I was half terrified he would come here and actually be cheating and not be good. And then he showed up here and he was just incredible. I was like, all right, we're safe. We're safe.
I don't know. At one point, I was like, "This guy's cheating."
He is. No,
they literally checked
It is the things this kid does consistently is, it's. God, I hate to compare him, but when ZywOo was coming up in CS, and you're just how is this even possible? I feel he may not be that level, but he's the closest thing in Valorant, I think so far. He didn't even have a PC. What, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, he just got a. This is his
just
first.
Got it. This is his first computer. He played Rust and then switched to this game, and he's just.
Wait, so his background's Rust. He's a Rust.
Yes, he's a Rust player.
Yes.
To be fair, we have a few of those in EMEA as well. Yeah, we got a couple of those, but that's the future of Valorant, right? Because the present and maybe the last couple of years, it's the former CS:GO players that are dominating everyone, but. It's going to be the former Rust players.
Yeah,
the kids that just got a PC.
It reminds me of Zeke. We interviewed Zeke on a previous Showstopper, and he was talking about I was on a crappy computer. It was I only played Fortnite because it was able to I was able to get money from it, and that was when he got his first gaming computer just 2 years ago, and now he's a world champion, right? So it's that's the future of the game. Valorant's a very popular game, and there's. Maybe not at the level of Trent, but there's a lot of Trents out there. It's just, it's up to the scouting teams from all these orgs to
There's
find
another
them.
one. There's another one that's coming up.
He's not gonna leak it though.
I got it. Yep, I got another
Oh.
one in a couple years. That.
Oh, okay. I mean, there is a kid over here in Turkey right now. He just turned 15. I know he turned 15 in December. He's turning 16 like this December, and he's not old enough to play competitively.
Yep.
You have to be 16.
I found
He's
one
an
of those
in-game leader at 14. He's like a
What?
14-year-old in-game leader, and everyone loves him because he's so like hardworking and he's like grinding his ass off, and everyone's just kind of like waiting for him to turn 16.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening right now. But cool. Right, let's quickly talk about the patch, because you guys are going to actually have to play on it, which is kind of mad. Obviously, you mentioned Astra already. We're going to get onto that, but I want to talk about Icebox real quick, because you guys have played quite a lot of Icebox. Very high win rate for you guys. It does work. What have you made of the changes? And is this the kind of Icebox you're going to be sticking with in terms of like pick rate for you guys?
I think our Icebox, the way we play it and stuff, this change won't affect us that much. I think like we can potentially drop a Sage now and then pick something else up, which will help us. But like, the way we've been playing the map, I don't think fundamentally will change. Oh my god! I don't think it'll change that much. But it's such small changes in too many areas that like everyone's like, oh, I don't like this is going to help the attack so much, and like I really feel like it's going to swap to, you know, a more heavily defense sided, especially.
Yeah, I agree,
because it's like there's so many spots you can off angle or get one more now versus before and can't be punished. I mean, just not being able to jump up on like belt or whatever it is to peek down into maze, like, or close arch, like under screens, you're so much safer playing there. All of a sudden you don't really have to worry about above you, like, and against some of these comps with like chamber and stuff, I think it's going to be a nightmare to play Icebox. Like, it's going to be so difficult.
The most interesting Icebox change is being able to plant in kitchen now. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I think it's gonna. Yeah. I was gonna say just Viper, just run up there, Viper kitchen. It's GG. My God. Yeah. All right, Tyler. Should we talk about the agents now?
Yeah,
the big old one.
I mean, I think the first thing, like 2 seconds after the patch notes dropped, was like RIP Astra. You saw all the memes on Twitter. Xander was memeing that he has to go back to school because they took away his agent. But obviously, you're level-headed. You two are two of the smartest people in NA, for better or for worse.
That's a bad thing.
for better or for worse. So from having a day or two to kind of sit on it, is Astra dead, or is it more of that she's going to take a back step a bit, and where it's the rise of Brimstone or the rise of
Astra is dead.
Yeah, y'all play a lot of Astra as well. So how are you adapting to this? Yeah,
NA plays a lot. It's not just every NA team runs Astra.
So basically, since Astra came out like almost a year ago, I've only played Astra for like every team. There was just no point of playing other like controllers. So I'm still like getting my Omen, back together. I'm re-oiling.
Why are you leaking that we're playing Omen?
Wait, it might be Brimstone. Who knows? Yeah, I'm just getting back. Like, I'm getting used to it again. And I think I'll be fine because personally, like, I'm really confident as a player outside of my agent. Like, I think I can aim on any agent. Like, I know how to play fundamental Valorant really well. So no matter what, like, I just have to spend a couple days like getting used to the agent and I'll be good. I do think the meta is going to change a lot in terms of like comps and stuff like that. So that's more of where I'm a little not concerned, but like that's where my focus is. Like, I'm not worried about my personal agent. I'm more so worried about like the IGLing factor, like having to create new comps and like, trying to counter other people. Like, the whole game's going to change in the next couple months. So
will you play Yoru? Is he viable now?
I don't think Valyn will let me.
That's a Matt answer.
I made Jin Ji play Yoru when Yoru was not that good because I had mad scientist ideas and it worked.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is the comps that I want to run it on. I think your IGL has to play it to pull off. Or so like
Okay.
the second I said that, Valyn is just like absolutely not. I have even worse ideas. We have a god tier split comp idea that is going to make us look like imbeciles when we play it in a match and it doesn't work. But I am so confident it will work for one game. I don't think you can play it more than one game because people will know how to play against it.
Yeah. Saving it for Masters Grand Finals in Iceland.
It is a
Make sure to tune in for Cloud9 versus Guard.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Vanity already agreed that both the Astra players were locking Jet and the rest of the team had to.
Wow.
Like that was his request. So Valyn and Vanity will be playing Jet and then we will be moving forward off that.
I mean, I do want to see the Yoru. I had a really interesting chat with Fearoth yesterday from Alliance, and he thinks one of the things he wants to see is, you know how the decoy now is just like a bot, which is kind of easy to be able to differentiate? He was like, I want someone to just pretend to be the decoy.
Someone already did it.
Someone's already done it?
Oh my God. I saw
it. Hang on,
it's been a day.
Yeah.
He literally told me about this yesterday. He was like, I want to see someone do this in pro play. Like, if someone's just like walking down bind, as a bot.
It's not in pro play yet, but this is the best. I linked it in the Discord for you guys.
Will you be making your players do that if you do play Yoru? Let me check.
We already run around like bots anyways. So.
I'll make sure to pull it off once a game.
Yeah. But this clip is incredible. This clip is incredible.
No way. No way. No way. No way. That actually, okay, we're gonna have to put this clip in the show, but no way that worked.
Yeah.
Holy.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Enemy B. Nice.
Oh. See, I feel like Yoru is viable now, so I kind of.
Yoru has always been viable. It's just other duelist champions and things are better. And I honestly think if you play Yoru, you need to play him on your lurk role. And he's not an entry agent. He's a lurk roller to cause a distraction. And I think if you do that, it's viable. You can pull off some really cool plays even before all the buffs to him. So I'm sure you can do it now. That it's like, you know, you saw, I think it was Guild at the time that ran it.
Yeah, Draken. Yeah.
Draken ran it to success. You see some of these teams using it that like, it is a very hard thing to play against if you have not talked about it. And luckily, like every single time we played it in scrims or whatever, I'm such a Yoru fanatic that I was like, no, like this is what you have to look for. Like you have to be careful of this or like, you know, mad scientist ideas. But it's like, I think other agents are too good to pick Yoru. It's the same thing as Neon. I think Neon has a special place with combinations of agents, but Neon is not better than some other agents because they are too strong. Is more of the issue. It's not that Neon's kit is bad. It's just like, are you really going to get rid of Jet?
Yeah.
Well, how are they going to nerf Astra and then not even touch Jet?
Yeah, they don't touch Jet at all.
Because Jet brings views.
That is true.
At the end of the day, it brings views. Astra doesn't bring views.
Honestly, yeah, true. But honestly, in EMEA, we've had teams not play any duelist. We've had teams like that just don't play Jet. Maybe
that's why I think you guys think Sovas aren't that important too.
How did that go for 100 Thieves?
You just
no
play
duelists?
0 duelists.
Yeah, true. But I will say that Liquid will play Yoru. Yumpy has been wanting to play Yoru since the day he moved to Valorant. So I think that's going to be interesting to see him like kind of a pseudo IGL playing on it.
I have a final question before we move on to our final segment. I need to ask this. Now that we've had this big patch and we've had all these changes and the meta is shifting, the question has to be asked, and it might be a simple one, but today, at this time, is Phoenix the worst agent in Valorant?
No, don't say that.
Is he the worst?
Reyna,
I agree.
Oh,
Reyna for me too.
Reyna?
Yes.
I think Reyna's ass.
Burn it to the ground.
Worse than Phoenix? I don't agree with that.
Dude, Phoenix at least still has... No, Phoenix is still okay with, like,
the ult.
ideas behind it.
You can
ult
use
is
it.
Still overpowered. The wall is
That's
really
true.
good. You have denial of space information with the Molly. And you have the worst flashes in Valorant. But it's still a flash. You know, where Reyna, it's like, yeah, I can throw this eyeball through a wall. And, like, hopefully I get a kill. Like, you have 0 impact on your team unless you're getting kills. So stop fucking playing it in ranked, all you shit bots.
I agree. Honestly, I think Reyna is ass for me. I think Phoenix.
It's been 2 years and all you can play is Reyna.
I also think because like Phoenix is British, so like like even if he was ass, I wouldn't say he was ass. But anyway, well, let's close this off with some questions. Not so much Valorant related. I kind of want to get to know you guys personally a little bit more. So I'll start off with this question: what was the last movie you watched?
Oh my god.
I watched one the other day. What was it? Oh no.
And why was it not Encanto?
It definitely was not Encanto.
That movie is so good. That movie is great.
Why are there British singers in it?
No, actually, but it's a great movie. Yeah, I heavily
this
recommend.
Was the movie.
Oh,
I know
okay.
what I
What
watched.
did you watch?
The Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was ass. It was
Oh,
ass.
Wait, did
I
you
watched-
pay for this? Did you pay to watch it?
Yes. I went
Wow.
Ghostbusters movie. I was like, okay, it'd be nice to go see, and it was just horrible. I was like, I never want to watch this ever again.
Wow.
Wait, it has a 94%. Wait, this is like a god movie according to Google. This was horrible.
The last one I watched, it was a documentary. It was the last thing I watched, but it was about the Boeing 737 MAX and how Boeing hid everything from the pilots in the industry. And that documentary is pretty crazy looking into what all went wrong in that. So I recommend it. It was very interesting and you can't believe something like that ever happened. So
is that like your style? Are you a more documentary
I
person?
watch everything. I mean, the one before that, I think I watched Jungle Cruise with The Rock. So the duality of man, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
I guess depends. What was the last movie you watched, Tyler? Because I never asked you this.
Last movie I watched. I've been
Probably
binging
you probably watched like the TSM documentary. Or
I'm
something.
gonna see the Batman. I'm seeing that this week. So I'm gonna see Batman.
Good choice.
I've been binging shows. I've been binging HBO Max. I just got a new TV behind me, so I've just been binging shows. Righteous Gemstones, Euphoria, Peacemaker. Lots of HBO stuff. How about you, Yinsu? What's the last media you've consumed?
I watched an anime movie called Belle. Would definitely recommend, and it was very, very good. Yeah. If you guys like anime, definitely would recommend.
All right, so we know Trent came from Rust, valyn, mCe. What was the first game you guys ever played as kids?
Ooh.
Or adults? I don't want to assume. You might have not played games until last year.
And we mean like ever. First ever.
Jeez.
Mine's Pokemon.
And you chose Bulbasaur. You're a bad person.
Bulbasaur's the GOAT starter.
No.
Bulbasaur's the GOAT starter. It's a
plant. It's a plant. You can have a turtle or a dragon. You chose the plant.
Charmander. Overrated.
Sorry, we have this argument every single time.
First of all, you're using information you know because you played the game. At the beginning, when you didn't know anything about the game,
you chose a
pick
plant.
was terrible.
Yeah. No, it was so cool. It was green.
No, you could have had a dinosaur, lizard, or a turtle, and you chose a plant.
My 8-year-old thinking was, I like green. I picked green thing. That was why. Bulbasaur, green.
No, Bulbasaur sucks, bro.
Mine has to be. I don't know. It was either like a Doom or Duke Nukem.
Oh.
Or something like that. My dad was playing it, and I don't even think I played it. I think I watched it. That's like the first thing I ever remember, and I never knew what the game was. And then the second game I ever played was this in school. It was like a winter typing game or something with snowballs and penguins.
I remember those. I remember those. Yeah.
And that and then Mario Kart. Mario Kart is like the first game we had. Or whatever was Mario Kart, and our family played it together. My sister, my dad, my mom, and I.
Who did you choose? Who was your driver?
I played a lot with Toad early, and then probably Bowser later.
I like Toad. Toad's a GOAT pick. Yeah.
For me, I think my first game was COD 4 on the Wii because my brother introduced me to gaming.
COD 4 on the Wii.
Yeah.
Wait, did you have the gun? Did you have the gun?
No. I had a nunchuck. So I had nunchucks, and you aimed with the nunchuck.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I think.
Did you prestige?
Oh man, no way. I was like maybe 10 years old, if that, and probably
Fair play.
8 years old, and my brother introduced me to games, and he was playing that, and I was like, oh, let me try. I still remember in his room, like this small box TV, good times. But yeah, so that was like I think that's the first game I played.
We're old, Tyler. You and I. We're very old. Yeah. When Pokemon is not your first game, I feel like we're just.
Well, I think mCe. I think we're all similar ages because I remember the same shitty ass typing games in class where it was like, oh hey guys, we're gonna have a fun computer class today. We're gonna play a game, and it's like cool a game.
Yeah, Oregon Trail too. I don't know how I forgot about that.
Best.
Please, can you make like Trent do this? Be like, just play this and tell me how you feel. I want to see his experience.
I would, but Trent can't read. So.
Oh no!
Oh gosh!
Hey, it doesn't matter if you can read as long as you can shoot heads in a video game. So
yeah.
All right. My question: who was the first esports person, pro, talent, someone that you both really looked up to, like you remember?
Scream.
Whoa. How are you gonna call me out like that? What the hell?
I think that's a good one though.
Right?
Like that makes sense. I
was playing Counter-Strike at the time. I was a noob. I saw he had some crazy one taps. I was like, I like this guy. But
he's also the nicest man on earth. Like honestly, at Champions, all of the makeup artists and people that work there will be like, he consistently remembers all of our names. Like he will come in and talk to every single person individually. He's just the nicest person. So I back the Scream pick 100%. Yeah.
Mine had to be either
We're nearly over. Yeah.
Anger or Shocks, I think were the two first ones. I started playing competitive games in Counter-Strike Source, so definitely I was really, really late as well, but Shoxy was just so good at that game. And Anger and Steel were the two from NA that I looked up to or tried to copy or replicate things that they did. But definitely those three: Shoxy, maybe HUDG, or once from MTW.
Have you ever met any of them? Or
yeah, I've met a lot of them now.
Yeah.
I mean, I practically lived with Steel for a year on Chaos, so it's definitely weird. I was a huge Astralis fanboy, and when we went to the Major Challenger, we played Astralis and should have beat them, and I was fanboying a little bit, and Cadian, I told Cadian, and Cadian's like, please just don't. But I should, I mean, at the time, I don't condone Hunden anymore, but I was the world's biggest Hunden fan, and he was at a boot camp we were at, and I was like, can I get my picture with you? And he thought I was making fun of him. Because Hunden's obviously known as not a good player, and I was like, dude, I'm a big fan. And then Casper, Cadian had to be like, no, he's actually for real. He's a big fan. Yeah. So
that's so sweet. To be honestly, that was me with Scream. I was a big Scream fangirl. When I met him, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was kind of freaking out a bit. But yeah, hopefully you guys do make it to LAN, so we get a couple of you to meet people that you really want to meet. But Tyler, I'll let you round it off with the last question.
Last question, an easy one but a tough one. Who was the last musical artist you listened to?
Nick D.
Lil Baby.
I don't know who Nick D is. Can you divulge?
Look up Serotonin by Nick D.
Is this a rapper or a singer?
Kind of both. I think you will enjoy him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, with Nick with no K.
And it's NIC space D.
He's edgy.
And then Icy Pop and Serotonin are the two songs that are just very vibey. I like it both. So shout out Nick D if you ever see this.
Oh, he's handsome.
He almost looks okay. The funniest thing is, I think he looks a little bit like Corey from FaZe.
I mean TSM Corey.
Yeah, sorry, TSM Corey.
I don't know.
No, I see it.
Is it the glasses?
It's the glass. It's the picture of him, the Nick D picture of him with his head to the side, looking up. That reminds me of Corey. It's the facial hair and glasses.
It's not spot on, but I looked at it and I just started laughing because I was like,
maybe he should grow his hair out, and then we'll definitely get a twin.
My last music artist was Young Gravy. You didn't ask me.
I love Young Gravy.
Matt is the biggest Young Gravy fan.
I am a Young Gravy fan.
Great. Young Gravy is great.
He's coming for your moms.
Oh wow! I honestly, I feel so out of touch because I only listen to musical theater and K-pop.
You would love Red Thought, Blue Thought then by Young Gravy.
Oh, is that musical theater-y? Or
yes.
K-pop.
Very, very elegant.
Yeah, listen to Hot by Young Gravy. Yeah. It really just
I look forward to it. This is why I feel so old, because I'm like, it rings a bell, but I'll definitely check it out. But thank you so much, you two, for joining us. Thank you as well, Tyler, as always. Hopefully we see you guys in Iceland. Who knows? If you guys at home enjoy this episode, drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.